Good morning, afternoon, or evening, ladies and gentlemen. Allincrypto here, and welcome back, guys, for what is going to be another jam-packed daily cryptocurrency market update. If you are new to this channel and finding yourself on my videos for the first time today, don't forget to check out that subscribe button because we drop an update just like this one every single day around 1 p.m. UK time to help you guys stay up to date with the latest and greatest things happening within the crypto space, but also the broader markets, and that's exactly what we're going to be doing in this video. We are going to be focusing in this one predominantly on the cryptocurrency space from a technical point of view. We're going to be looking at Bitcoin and how it's following the plan thus far. 2024 is setting out to be a spectacular year for crypto investors, and we want to keep you guys on the ball in regards to that. So we are going to be predominantly looking at the charts and predominantly talking about alt season cometh. So alt season is, in my opinion, upon us. We have been suffering as somebody like myself who is majority in altcoins. Yes, we do have altcoins that are up 300% since we started investing in them, but really Bitcoin has been the star of the show. Now, I do think that's about to change. I think Bitcoin dominance is looking likely to roll. I think we've got others dominance, which is everything outside the top 10, which is looking to move to 20%. It's currently at 10% of the overall market. And we've got ETH BTC to look at. We are going to be, of course, looking at the Bitcoin chart, and then we're going to be talking about the week that we have ahead of us from an economic data point of view. Lots of Fed speakers. Remember, we have a broader macro thesis on where we think the dollar's going, where rates are going, where the markets, the S&P, the stock market, everything's going. And a lot of our targets have already been hit, and we are expecting a continuation in what is now an uptrend. And altcoins are at this kind of breakout stage, and we're starting to see some 40, 50% moves on altcoins, kind of what seems out of nowhere. But this is kind of what happens at the point in the bull market historically that we are in. And we're going to be showing you that in regards to Bitcoin dominance. So quite a heavy technical update today, guys. I do apologize for that. And I do apologize for missing my daily market update yesterday. Just had a lot of things that I was looking to do in my personal life. But let's start things off with Bitcoin. And you can see just how perfectly Bitcoin has performed for us this year. We were some of the first people back into the markets based on a bullish divergence, which you have on altcoins now. Altcoins are kind of here, waiting to break out of the double bottoms that they're in, the ranges that they're in, like we've seen with Chainlink, the head and shoulders, whatever it may be. You know, markets typically bottom in a similar fashion. We identify the markets in 4 stages. Stage 1, which is a base. Stage 2, which is an uptrend. Stage 3 is a toppings trend. And stage 4 is a downtrend. You don't want to hold anything that's in stage 4. You want to get out in stage 3. You want to buy in stage 1 and, of course, 2, certainly when you just break out. And altcoins are there. And this is going to tie in nicely with our thesis that altcoin season is on the horizon. You know, it's here, I do believe. We're starting to see altcoins really break out. But Bitcoin has performed beautifully. Remember, we are now identifying a bigger head and shoulders in the same way we were identifying a smaller one. Target for the smaller one that we had in 2023 got hit. We're now at a stage where we are progressing. And you haven't seen volume on what we're now calling a breakout. However, that volume is there. It's just in the form of ETFs. And you can see volume really picking up. We're starting to have record inflows now for the Bitcoin ETFs. It's now competing with gold. We're seeing as much interest in Bitcoin as we are the gold ETFs. And actually, I think Bitcoin will outperform that. From a portfolio management point of view, it makes sense to have Bitcoin in your portfolio, even if it's just a small amount. And we're still to see that adjusting by portfolio managers. And it will eventually, and we think we're on the cusp of it, and we're likely going to see that this year, it will make sense to have altcoins also in that portfolio to diversify in this kind of cryptocurrency asset class as a whole. So we are seeing the volume on certainly GBTC, which is the leader in regards to the space and where it's going, and Bitcoin on its kind of breakout. We're seeing lots of altcoins before we move on to some technical reasons why we think alt season cometh that are setting up perfectly. Remember, HBAR is one. We do have a short-term target of 30 cents, potentially a long-term target of $2. If you look at things like Cardano, of course, Chainlink has been nothing short of a beast for us. Range target hit. We're now going to be looking for a $64. Anybody that doesn't believe in technical analysis, follow the channel. Stay with us. The price predictions that we give, watch them get hit. Just like our predictions for the stock market got hit. You can see altcoins are still in this kind of, excuse me, Bitcoin-esque head and shoulders or whatever it is that we had at the start of the year. Remember, your bullish divergences showed up. This is Cardano progressing nicely. Even things like Polkadot so on and so forth. And we do have altcoins that are up to the tune of 300+%. So altcoins are all on the verge of really breaking out and getting aggressive. This is going to lean on Bitcoin dominance, which we're going to talk about in a second. Remember, our S&P target's been hit, our NASDAQ target got hit, we saw continuation, Microsoft. We've got a lot of stage twos. I don't really talk to you guys about stage analysis because I kind of save it for the Patrons, but if you look at Coinbase, it's going exactly where we think it's going. ARK Invest, we think, is on the cusp of breaking out. We've got lots of small stocks that we don't really talk to you guys about just to fly through them. These are all stage twos that we've identified before breakout or pre-breakout. A lot of them are getting there. You know, Spotify's been a real good one for us. Lots of these are stocks, but why are we showing this? Well, we're showing this because semiconductors did great for us. These are small stocks. They kind of mimic altcoins, and Bitcoin kind of mimics the S&P and the NASDAQ, which is predominantly held up by about 6 or 7 stocks, NVIDIA being a big part of that. If these small stocks are going up, that could be a good barometer for the overall macro picture. And ultimately, if they're going to go up, that's going to be a good environment. Remember, we still think the S&P is going to continue to go up, although it's hit our target. We're going to have to see what else sets up. We do have targets for the likes of Amazon around about 263. This is relevant because Bitcoin against these is now in an uptrend. And remember, we identified all this to look at that right shoulder being in. So we do think the right shoulder's in. We do think you've now broke out. It's just time to expect continuation. You are, in my opinion, going to get alt season very, very shortly. I don't think it's time to be pivoting into the Bitcoin dominance trade, although we were calling for getting back into the markets when Bitcoin was around about 15, 16K, some of the earliest. I'm a predominant altcoin holder. I hold a very small amount of Bitcoin in regards to the altcoins that I hold. Some of them have outperformed, some of them haven't, but the bet that I'm taking is they will eventually. And you can see in blue here, we've got the total market cap of the cryptocurrency space. And then we've got Bitcoin dominance in the Japanese candlesticks. And you can see as the market rockets, it's not until a later point that dominance starts to roll. Again, bear market here, dominance up. It wasn't till really this point here when the uptrend had kind of already been in that you roll. We're doing a similar thing today. And I do think Bitcoin dominance is on the cusp of rolling. We do have some correlating factors to help us assess that. You can see this is a short-term uptrend that Bitcoin dominance has been in. I think this is toppy, in my opinion. I really do. And I think this is likely to roll, in my assessment. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Something to kind of correlate with that. And Bitcoin dominance rolling means that Bitcoin's going up, but the altcoins are doing even better. And we're seeing altcoins start to pop across the board. You know, we've got some that are up 30, 40% just over the weekend. And do get on the Patreon and enjoy those kind of moves with us. You can see others' dominance, which we don't see any other crypto YouTubers talking about, is basically everything outside of the top 10. And the dominance of this is currently at 12%. We have a target for this, just like we were predicting our S&P targets and things like this, and we're now predicting crypto targets to around about 20%. So this going and gaining dominance isn't going to happen in an environment where Bitcoin isn't doing well. That is also going to correlate with Bitcoin dominance rolling. So this is another factor. This is very, very textbook, just like what we saw with Coinbase. You break out, you come back, you get a retest just to show you Coinbase very quickly, because Coinbase is a stock that we're long on. I've been buying since the sort of 30, 40 range. That the others' dominance kind of is a clue that there's going to be a move for them, which means Bitcoin dominance is going to lose ground, which means alt season is about to happen, which means the general market's going to be doing well. You also have Ethereum, BTC, which I think is just in a big wedge-like structure, a big symmetrical triangle that's going to break. And I don't think we're too far off it, certainly given the context of where Bitcoin dominance is at with the bull market and how it plays out. Given where others is at, given where altcoins are at on their own technical merit, all looking to sort of enter stage 2. Some of them already have and really start to fulfill those patterns that they've been forming. So I think it's a good time all around. You know, this is others, sorry, not others, crypto market cap excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum. Now in a stage 2 uptrend. Remember, we expect these to continue until we see reason to suspect otherwise, like trend invalidation, so on and so forth. Let's talk very quickly now about the week that we have ahead of us. It's not as exciting as previous weeks in terms of news. Of course, the markets are closed tomorrow for President's Day. US stock market closed. We'll see what happens. Can always be a bit of a risk in crypto when you don't have the sort of broader markets to go with, but you'll have the FX market open. Remember, dollar is still to be watched. We haven't really spoke too much about the dollar just yet, but we'll save that perhaps for tomorrow's video. Tuesday, you've got things like the Royal Bank of Australia minutes. You've got lots of CPIs. You've got Fed members speaking, and that's going to give some forward guidance on rates, thus the dollar, thus yields, and where they're going. Thursday, you've got lots of PMIs and more FOMC members speaking, Eurozone PMIs, so on and so forth. So the dollar is really something to be watched. And of course, the correlation between the dollar and crypto is typically the dollar goes up. Risk generally, not just crypto, goes down. However, I think the dollar's gaining strength at the moment due to sort of the geopolitical landscape of things, the FX market, how well the dollar and the US economy is doing against Britain, for example, which is now technically in a recession, or euro, and it's not necessarily going up based on rates and where they're going. And actually where rates are forecast to go aligns with our broader thesis on the dollar and thus the crypto markets. So that's really all I have for you guys. I do think alt season is upon us. We need to watch for that Bitcoin dominance to roll. We need to watch for others market cap dominance to start to gain and start to, the pattern's already triggered. It's now a retest. We're waiting for it to find strength. ETH BTC is to be watched. And of course, altcoins on their own merit. But the plan is very much in play. That is all I've got for you guys. If you've enjoyed this content, a like is always greatly appreciated. So is a comment. And I look forward to seeing you all in the next one. Thanks a lot for watching. See you in the next.